Phil McLaughlin.
Thanks, Phil McLaughlin. I was Attorney General in the state between 97 and 2002 for about 6 years. Haven't been back here for about 6 years. But this is an issue that brings me back. My intention today is to speak especially to those members of the House who are as yet undecided about whether or not to support or oppose the legalization of slot machines. Slot machine advocates argue for increased revenues. Opponents, like me, argue against slot machine legalization and do so to protect against the risk of harm that would come to our communities, a risk that is completely avoidable. Surely we can all agree, no matter which side of the question we might be on, as adults, we all bear responsibility first and foremost for protecting our communities. Revenues from slot machines will never outweigh the long-term corrosive effects on our New Hampshire cities and towns, our people, our collective values, and our reputation as a first-rate place to raise a family. Proponents often argue that polling suggests that people want expanded gambling. If that is so, then maybe the polls, rather than asking people what they want, what's good for them, what would entertain them, should instead ask people what they think is good for our community as a whole. Different answers. And that is the question that I ask House members to consider. And when each House member answers that question, I implore each to vote no to slot machines, unless they can clearly and confidently assure themselves in their conscience that the legalization of slot machines will create no harm or any risk of harm to the culture, social fabric of our state. For 35 years, except when I was in Concord for 6 years, I've simply been an attorney in Laconia. I don't live in the milieu of Concord. I represent people and try their cases. I litigate for people, and I say to every single client, I say to them, they don't need to litigate. The litigation is like getting on, a water slide at the Weirs. You don't need to get on, but when you get on, you're going in. That's exactly the concern of Speaker Sidetech. This is a one-way street, people. We get on, we're going in, and we're never coming back. Instead, I ask the House members to do what my friends and clients, the doctors, do. Before they treat, they say to themselves, first, do no harm. There is not any knowledgeable, responsible citizen in this state who does not appreciate and respect the difficulties you folks face with respect to our current budget and the next budget. You may have to cut services. You may have to raise taxes. If you do it, all reasonable people can ask is, do it fairly. Spread the burden. But don't do this harm. Don't do this harm. Jim, thanks for your invitation.